So we're live on Facebook.
Yes,
So here we are with Wowza Alyssa Lodge.
hello, Wowza.
And Andrew,
There's
Cameron
Connie,
Bailey, there's
Baxter,
Andrew,
Marlow.
there's Wowza. Hey,
Yeah.
Wowza.
How much fun is this, huh?
Great times we're having together. And we're on Good of the Whole Connection Field. And this is the Trust Frequency Embodied, the Dance of Souls, the Relationship Revolution, the application of evolution. Right.
Yeah, it's evolutionary rather than revolutionary.
Exactly. Yes. And we are applying the trust frequency principles to relationships. So this is a practical application of the trust frequency construct on the conscious, loving, abundant nature of the universe and humanity's place in it. So right now we'll feature Andrew and me, we'll spotlight us, and Wowza is going to come on after we present some deep ideas. Now these are very challenging, deep ideas that we're going to be presenting. And then Wowza is going to bring it into embodiment. Let's see, last week we delved into the idea of our receptivity to change. Do you want to speak about that?
Okay. So I would just like to greet everybody and say hello and all of our friends on Facebook. And last week there were 150. That was pretty amazing. So I'm really glad there are a number of friends out there. We never do see you, and we never don't know how many of you there are. So we wish you well. It seems to have been an extraordinary week. How much has happened this week in the world? Just amazing. It seems like forever ago. So last week we spoke specifically of one's willingness or ability to change. How, let me point at myself here. How easy is it for me to change? So my theory is that I am open to change. In other words, I'm proceeding on certain assumptions. And then if something better comes along, I will adopt that something better without resisting it. And I will change and I will grow and I will evolve. So we're sort of asking that question of you, dear friends. How willing are you to change? How open are you to change? Is it easy for you? Is it difficult? Some of us resist change. We're sticking with what we know and we're not ready to take the plunge. So this is about serious change. And one of the things that changes us is meeting a fellow human being and becoming involved with that fellow human being in one way or another. As I'm a man, I tend to prefer the fairer sex. And when I met this young lady on my right here, boy, was I ready for change. And the answer was yes. Huge change occurred because two humans met, began interacting, began working together and playing together. And wow. And then once the glorious romantic situation, the honeymoon, not that the honeymoon's ever over, but when the honeymoon seemed to be fading somewhat. Oh, what's going on here? You are bringing, you're challenging me. You're bringing stuff up that I didn't even know was there. So that, I think, is a simplistic description of the dance of souls. We dance with fellow souls because I am a mirror to you and you're a mirror to me. And without those mirrors, we cannot see these deep, dark secrets that we carry.
Yes. So when we think we're open to change, but when we get to this deep work, how open are we to change? And this is where this course goes, into those recesses, into those shadow parts, our core issues, which we have been protecting all our lives from anybody ever seeing. And we've developed defense mechanisms and behavior patterns to keep people from knowing that those exist and keep us from even accessing those, because maybe it's a life and death situation. I mean, we defend it to that degree, as though it were a life and death situation. I am not going there, and I'm not letting anybody access that part of myself that I don't yet love, that isn't okay, that I perceive as not okay. See, this is the whole journey, has to do with seeing that those parts of ourselves that we've seen as not okay, that we've acquired wounds in our childhood to bring in behaviors and these defense mechanisms so that we can go on this heroine's journey into recognizing them and healing them and bringing them into the light. So that's what this course is about. And that's what we're going to give a construct from the trust frequency understanding of the nature of the universe. And I'm going to put on a PowerPoint just to run through these principles, not the trust frequency principles, but the foundational principles for this dance of souls, for those who learn better by seeing, for one thing, and for those just to have it in an orderly fashion. So I'm going to go and share our screen from start. Okay, here we go. So the dance of souls, the relationship, evolution, revolution. And what we want to bring forth is that we are going to be moving from victim to beloved. Okay, this is a huge leap from victim consciousness to beloved, to beneficiary of all that's happened in our lives.
Do you mean like being a victim of circumstance, and we learn that we are actually beneficiaries of circumstance?
Yeah.
That's a big, big change.
Yeah, exactly. And that's part of the trust frequency construct. So it has to do with changing assumptions. And we've already talked about how open are we to change on a surface level and on a super deep level. This is where we have to go, because we came here with a job to do, and that is to access and learn to love all of ourselves. And this is what we're doing for ourselves.
So it's
and
a self-assessment.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because it seems like that's the first step, is really to look in that mirror and assess ourselves. Am I open to change? Do I need to change? What's up with that? Why would I need to change? I'm perfect. Of course I'm perfect. We're all perfect. However, we've also all got work to do.
Yeah. And how scary is it to change? That's the big one, the fear of change. So it's about rewriting the story. And it has to do with coming to understand the conscious, loving nature of the universe. That there's absolutely, and one has to take this as absolutely true to shift, to make the big flip from victim to beloved, that there is only love with a capital L,
free will,
and the soul's journey to wholeness. So what is the soul's journey to wholeness?
By there is only, you mean that the entire universe, that's all there is?
Yeah, that's all there is.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's extraordinary. I mean, I don't know how many people know that.
Yeah, how many people are willing to accept it? Because it's a huge, huge flip. It's a huge shift into a higher vision of the nature of reality, the bird's eye view, the eagle's eye view, that's beyond duality. It's beyond right and wrong and good and evil. It's a very big leap. And what we want to share is the understanding of the soul's journey to wholeness. What does that mean? Because in one sense, we are totally whole. We are totally everything. We're divine aspects of this whole consciousness of life and the creation. But what we're saying is there's a soul's journey to wholeness, which is the journey to self-love and self-acceptance and alignment with our divinity and our gift and our purpose. So that's a big job that we came here to do. And so
I think you can see that we're talking big picture here, big picture.
yeah.
So our little fearful selves, it's time to just let it go. Why would we even be like that if we knew this?
Yeah.
So once we know this and accept this absolutely, everything simply changes. It no longer matters what the outer circumstances are of our lives, because we have a different perspective, a different worldview, a different attitude. And speaking for myself, what an extraordinary difference it makes to live from this perspective, the perspective we call the trust frequency.
So it's the job we came here to do, both personally and collectively. This is a job that humanity is doing, and we're doing for humanity, for the collective, and humanity's doing for all of creation. The job that those of us in these 3D suits came to do for the rest of creation. So we are the consciousness of unconditional love coming to understand itself.
I have a way I like to express that.
Yes.
We are roving sensory organs of the divine. So think of the divine with a capital D, think of the universe as consciousness. And the consciousness, the one and only consciousness there is manifesting the trillion things. The quarks and the electrons and the fleas and the ants and the birds and the bees and the elephants and the planets and the galaxies, and ultimately the entire universe. And this unified universe manifests each of these extraordinary creations. The Native Americans like to call the universe creator, and everything else is part of that creation. It's extraordinary. And each element of that creation is essential, is indispensable. And each of us is a sensory organ. In other words, we are experience, we're organs of experience, and it's the universe experiencing itself through us. That was a long-winded restatement of yours.
It's beautiful. And it's the gift we promise to bring to the party, which is us as fully aligned divine entities, because we don't want, the universe is waiting for us to bring all of ourselves, not just the parts we see as successful and okay. So that's how important this journey is.
So we put filters on what we show to ourselves even, and to each other, and to the universe, God. Like, we really kid ourselves that we can hide something from the all-knowing.
Yeah,
being.
good
It's
point.
like, come on,
Good
folks,
point.
it doesn't work.
Doesn't work. We get sick. We bring in people to show us these aspects. We take on these wounds as children, so that we can go on this journey. So we are transmuting the energies of fear and separation and the illusion of scarcity for all of creation. It's really exciting, this job we came here to do. And it's enmeshed in judgment and all that for humanity, where we're at and where we've been. It's enmeshed in judgment of ourselves, that we judge ourselves. But guess what? No shame, no blame. It's the job we came here to do.
And in fact, a word on judgment. There's an attribute or a capacity we have. It's called discernment. We have a left brain and a mind for a very good reason. We have choices to make every step of the way. And that's not judgment in that sort of negative sense. Judgment has got sort of a bad rap as I'm judging you. But I'm using my discernment to say, as Connie loves to say, sometimes you say, not for me, not now. You use your discernment and you discern the difference between a judgment and a discernment.
Right. An old grandmother said that to me once. Not for me, not now.
Yeah.
Which is discernment, without making someone bad and wrong or ourselves bad and wrong. So here's the essence of this, that each soul will create the conditions needed to become whole. Okay.
Okay.
We did an overarching act of free will to come to Earth, to go on this journey to wholeness with a gift and a purpose. So we chose to incarnate
That
here on
choice
Earth.
is the act of
That
free will.
act
That
of free
choice
will.
we made to come here in the first place.
Right.
Perhaps we had a choice to do something completely different, and we chose to come here. I
We
don't
said,
know.
we'll go to Earth and a conscious, loving universe. You can take me on this journey. I want to align with my divinity. And so we incarnate, and then the soul actually magnetizes the behavior from others so that it can go on this journey. And this is pretty radical because there's abuse, there's so much that we see as not love. But if we once we understand that we actually brought in that behavior for our journey, and we can be thankful to those that we call our perpetrators, because ultimately we get out of victim into beneficiary and we have gratitude. So we create the conditions we need to become whole. And we understand that our lives are our movie. We are the director, script writer, and lead actor, and others show up with scripts we have written. So that's pretty wild. But many of you may have heard that before, but in reality, that's what it's all about, that people are showing up for us when they show us our light and when they show us our shadow.
Shakespeare said, all the world's a stage.
Yeah.
he could be so succinct.
We choose our parents and we magnetize the behavior we need to take on the wounds we need to create our stories. Okay, so this story that we've been telling ourselves, our victim story, is just that. And we embark on the journey, the hero or heroine's journey. So these stories that we've taken on, and these wounds and these traumatic experiences, all of that is for a purpose, for a reason. And so we take on self-doubt, we take on the victim, and then we hide it under a mask. And then mirrors appear to us to show us what's under the mask. The mirrors in the form of other people and circumstances. And then we defend ourselves with behaviors. Okay, defensive behaviors. And this self-doubt becomes a core issue. It can be identified as a core issue, so that once one becomes sensitive to all this, one can say, okay, what are my core issues? What did I come here to do? And I'm seeing that through others' behaviors towards me and the feelings I have when they say something, do something. I have feelings that I'm projecting out to them to make them bad and wrong and poor, pitiful me, when in fact, those feelings identify the parts of ourselves we don't love yet. So we have these core issues we take on, and we dance the dance of souls with our parents, with our siblings, our co-workers, our partners, the people we can't get away from easily, because we need to really see this, and we really need to work through this. And we can get out. We can never speak to our parents again. We can distance ourselves from our siblings. We can quit our job.
We can get a divorce.
We can get a divorce. We can do all that.
All that stuff.
And yet
Mm.
it'll chase us around. And when we start seeing repeated behaviors,
That's the key, isn't it?
that's the key, the repeated behaviors.
In other words, we're these serial monogamists. So we move from lover to lover, friendship to friendship, marriage to marriage. And the same darn stuff comes up every time. And then you sort of look at your person you were madly in love with, you say, God, she's just like so-and-so.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that.
Yeah, when you hear that, oh, you're just like dad. Oh, you're just like my former wife. Oh, you're just like, then you know that's the signal. that repeated behaviors. And then you also know, because those trigger us, they trigger us into behaviors that we use to defend ourselves and get out of the situation or make the other person bad and wrong. Whatever it is, we have serious behaviors that come from being triggered into seeing what's hidden in our subconscious that the mask is hiding. So, yeah, and so we've brought in these experiences to show us our light, and our light.
Don't forget our light.
Yeah, so it's so important. People bring in our light, show us our light,
yeah,
and our shadow, so that we progress on this journey. And so bringing our light to the world is so important. It's what the whole universe is waiting for that bright light, not just a little flashlight that we're showing that to show up and get the job and get through it all. So it wants all of our light. So it's
what is the
big flip. I just came up with that today.
She just made this up. I said, I haven't seen that before.
The big flip.
A big flip.
From blaming others to acknowledging our journey, to acknowledging that we're on this journey and we have work to do. It's a big flip. So we acknowledge the dance and we shift from anger to gratitude. Huge shift.
And that's not easy.
That's not easy.
Really, you know, we have these people in our lives and we look at them, and if we're feeling like a victim, then we're looking at them and pointing our finger at them and saying, you are a perpetrator. You're doing something to me and I don't like it. Whoa. And now it turns out that rather than that get out of my life energy, it's like, wow, really? Thank you. Gratitude.
In the
turning
attitude.
that anger to gratitude. And I think you know that's not easy. So that's what this course is about. It's about how it takes practice by learning to do it, by doing it, and possibly not succeeding. It's difficult. We learn and we learn and we learn until eventually it becomes ease and grace, because our hearts are opened. We're actually in an elevated state of consciousness. We're in the trust frequency, this elevated vibratory state, where we can actually see what's truly going on, as opposed to being in this low vibe, limited space where we're perceiving a perpetrator, we're perceiving a benefactor.
Wow.
Is that a shift or what?
We
what
are
did you
free.
Just call it? The
big flip.
Okay, the big flip. That's like that's in a circus. Like, okay, we can do that.
So we are freed from victim consciousness, Yahoo, and we change our assumptions, and the world changes with us. It's a change in perspective, a change in assumptions. So that is our PowerPoint. And we'd like to now come back to you. Wowzer,
were you able to see and hear that well?
Yes.
What did you feel about that presentation we just gave?
Quite honestly, I was living it.
Yeah.
I was going through the little ugly duckling. She was really skin disease over half my body. Talk about masking. And how I became an expert on inhibition. I learned so much about it. So I went so deep in it, and now see when we can really make that pop out, right?
Yeah.
Oh my, we've been there. That's how we, oh my gosh. And that incredible compassion to have sometimes these contrasting things. Maybe we can't even see it unless we have something to contrast it with. And then the third force, right? Coming out to go, oh, you are whole, beautiful child. There's no such thing as ugliness.
Well, so the question now is how can we embody that? These we just presented these, in a way, they're intellectual ideas. I mean, they have emotion, they have feeling, but they're left brain, their ideas. So how do we bring those ideas down into our bodies so that they get a place to take root and grow?
Boy, I mean, again, it's no easy matter how much defended we can get. You're trying to change me. This is me, and there is in the protections of our hurts. So one of the things that I've done, I'd like to start it just very mechanically. It's okay? I could. Are we on?
Yeah.
Because I work with a lot of people that are in that same boat. They're not used to opening up, even though they want to open up. And I do a piece that I'd love to share, and I'll just do it, just pure physically, where you arc your body as much as, you comfortably can, belly, heart, mind, you're looking up to the ceiling. You really feel that. This is excellent for the spine, by the way. And then you very slowly, the belly button comes in, the head goes round, and you round. And you feel your whole spine round. Wish you could see a little more of me.
We can.
Oh, goody. And then just very slowly, when you could do this also with breath, inhaling, but this slow rising upward. And really, kind of hover there if you can, just to really feel that extreme openness. And then very, very slowly. See, again, the spine now has a very big vocabulary of what is small, what is round. See, what is, you could say closed, held in. See, as I bring emotions into it. And then, wait a minute. See, we can arc and open to the biggest, the most expanded openness. Now, here's the good part. It starts to get, now you have this continuum where you can arc, you can round. It can get a little smaller, a little smaller, a little smaller. And suddenly there is a balancing between expansion and contraction. Now, between that range, this is fascinating. This is called what we call still frames. You stop frames in a movie, right? They're all stop frames. Well, imagine this. It's almost like wherever we got wounded, let's say, stop that crying to the little kid, boy. And so so we're on that continuum. Oh, he's in the high, see, he's arced up with the head probably in a certain way. So it's like at different points while you're going up and down with your spine, stop. And you go, and just say anything. Hello, oh, that's a voice you've never heard before. A body language is just totally unfamiliar to you. Get off on it, it's kind of fun. It's play acting as a kid. And then, I can let go of that. I can actually let it go. And then, you round to get stopped. Ooh, what's that? Oh, suddenly I am kind of an old lady, and I am hovering about. It's unbelievable how quick we can shapeshift into many, many different kinds of qualities. And then you let go of it, as much as you can. That's where a little shaking comes in. And then this again, you can go forever. What are you saying? I'm such a nice person. How can you treat me like that? It will suddenly recall certain kinds of defenses. What's the matter with you? Your father's voice will sometimes, come in, your mother,
Yeah.
It's pretty fascinating. And so one more is, the mask of the face. We can do mask. It was one of my focuses for forever was shamanic mask ceremonies at Esalen Institute. And see, I masked so much to hide the rash the ridicule. That's what I was hiding from, you know. And in that, I learned, see, to, you know, kind of twist and turn. And now, unless that physiology is somewhat seen, and especially the face, it will open to new ideas and new revelations. But unfortunately, the physiology often wins, because suddenly they leave, right? They go back into the normal circumstance, and boom, there's that posture. Suddenly they're defensive again. They're suspicious, you know, whatever it is. Don't touch me, don't get near me. Oh my God. And so to honor these shapings, we are shapeshifters, we are shapings. And that's why, again, I love the fluidity, because the more you can take that, you know, Tai Chi and street clothes, and, you know, take a little hand and just say, all of this could be done too, like this, you know, that all of that, ooh, and then, oh, and ah, and oh. We're opening and we're closing. And then that face is the same. Ooh, ah, oh. And so you could take any sound and hold it. Oh, and all of a sudden the character comes out. Oh, oh, what are you talking about? Oh, yes, right. Oh, yeah, hi. I mean, I could go on and on. It's endless, meaning we're endless. And we get a little fixated in a little quivering voice. Voice sound is another whole matter. Whatever the sound, you better believe the face, the body language will affect that. Now I'm a whole oh, the universe loves me. Can you see? This is a hard jump. Yes, I'm loved, I'm there, you know, all the affirmations, but they're living in a body language that is believed to be unloved, unacceptable. What's more painful than that? And so wait a minute, see, in all of this work now, yes, I am this, I am this, I am this, I am this, I am this. There is nothing I am not. And now, wow. I am loved. I can be, I'm this and I am this. And I can love this gift, this extraordinary gift. My face can do 10,000 things. I mean, this body, no matter what the age. See, there's nothing in here. There's nothing in here but space. There's nothing in here but love. That's love. Because there's no objections. There's no limitations. I mean, there's no boundary. You know, I mean, to be in a body. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do, cooking the eggs. I mean, to be free. We're free. And it just takes that childlike play. Hi, face. Welcome to the party. Sheila, what have you got? Let's see what you got. Whoa, woo, woo. See? In the body, what do you got? You know? Oh, so some days you want to go that way. Some days you want to go like that. And some days you want to go like that. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, wonderful.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful.
so much fun. How's that?
So getting free from the victim.
Player with love, so you get to know her. Come on, victim, show your colors. Oh, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What? Oh my God, look at her shoulders. Oh, poor shoulders. And look at that little voice. What else is possible, voice? Oh, so you have to make it more sometimes. Thousands of people for 60 years doing this kind of work. We don't know. That voice, that body language becomes so familiar. Doing anything different is phony. It's silly. That's not me. This is me. And it's so that's why the fluidity, that's why shake it up big time. You are everything. There is nothing left out.
Yeah, so that's what's so important to recognize.
You know, it's
that
what's left out.
we are love, we are loved, we are the divine. We are roving sensory organs of the divine, and all of creation is awaiting us, all of us, not just that part we
Yeah.
put out to be successful and be loved, because
Mm.
it's just
Mm.
so magnificent that it's hard to even comprehend that we are welcome, we are loved, we are awaited by all of creation, who we are from our innermost being.
And how beautiful to be able to then say, what is? You know, I am a universe. We are whole. I mean, we're a universal self. What's the face? And maybe we don't have one, because, see, I feel that the big face, like the baby, see, this is, who cares? These are all myselves of every second that I see. And every body is my body. And the more I can just bear a little bit who I'm with, I get exercise in coming into that greater loving wholeness, because there isn't anything we are not. And that saved my life.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's the saving grace. But it's just fun to play it a little more now. Have a little. That's why wow consciousness is definitely my worldview. It's just mixing a little fun into the big picture, a little humor.
Right.
And I think we can have more humor again, playing our parts. And then maybe we don't have to let go of anything. We just have to really know we're playing, rather than getting lost in the part.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all. That's it.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Wowza. And
pleasure.
And what about us bringing people in to show us our light and our shadow?
Yeah, I love that. Show it to me, as painful as it is. And as soon as I feel the pain, guess what? I know it, as you said. It's absolutely true. Like, oh, what are they saying? That hurts.
Yeah.
And boom, there it is. There's the hurt body language. And then, God, I can do it consciously. If we can do it consciously, I'm saved.
And recognizing that hurt is an indicator to us.
Yeah.
That trigger, that hurt, that we are feeling hurt, and projecting you have hurt me, instead of looking at, okay, why is that feeling? Why am I feeling victimized? Why am I feeling those feelings? Because I have work to do. That's the key flip, rather than you hurt me.
Right.
I am feeling hurt.
Mm.
So why am I feeling hurt? Because I feel less than. Mm-hmm. So you have made me feel less than. Well, no, guess what? It's because I feel less than.
Mm.
So that's the big flip from you made me feel that way to I feel that way, therefore I have work to do. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.
Right.
It's huge.
It's huge.
In a whole recognition of that beloved, being the beloved of all of creation, and acknowledging that all of us is welcome at the party.
Right. And I feel that love, that's what I meant, of that little inhibited one. It wasn't until I could actually take her in my arms, and hold her in my heart.
Mm.
Yeah. My survival. These rules are survival.
Yeah.
No other choice, or we would have used them, Yeah. We did the best we could.
Yeah, it's called survival.
It is survival.
We hold on to that mask for survival's sake.
Absolutely.
Because we don't want anyone to know really how less than we are. we think we are,
Use.
but we're not. We just have that wound because that's the part we came to work on in this life walk.
Mhm.
So what do you think of that, David? Do you have any thoughts on that matter? You have to unmute yourself.
If you want to.
My first response was, yeah, you got a few hours.
Yeah, there you are.
While Wazo was sitting there, what's happening, what I was personally moving through was, I was the bear at the edge of the doorway of his cave, looking to come out into the world and feeling
Beautiful.
the necessary ferocity that I need to garner just to be able to go out there and survive in that.
Yeah.
Be that bear, that place. Yeah, exactly. In that place, I'm definitely not playing, and I'm not holding back. I'm just fully bodying it. It's the old hunter-gatherer expressing himself, that place. The place that is our human legacy, that place. And that's my spiritual path, you see. That's the place. That's where I cook. that's
where I cook too.
And you feel it, right? You feel it.
The mirroring.
Yeah.
Why would anyone want to miss you
Thank you.
take you into their skin?
Thank
take
you.
Your tone and your gruffness of that incredible archetypal genius.
Yeah, that's it.
You've earned it.
Yeah.
Now suddenly my voice has a.
Yeah. And here's the beauty of it. I'm doing it with love. It's not a place of attack. That's it. And in that place, I get to sit here and feel fully safe with you, and to be able to relax and give myself permission to operationalize, try to make you feel as safe as you can with you, and have us have that dance together. That place.
Yeah.
See? Yeah.
Woo.
Welcome to living. Yeah.
That bear.
It took us only this long to get here, right?
And it's nice to see you again.
Absolutely. Nice being seen. Nice being seen.
Thousands of years, it's taken.
Nice being seen, yes.
That big bear full of love.
Whoa.
That big gruff bear full of love. That's what.
That's it. You got it. Thank you for seeing that. Bless you.
And for people to be able to see that and not make judgment on this big bear.
No.
Hey, guess what? That big bear is love. That's all there is love.
And I can then relax and just look and see who's there.
Yeah. See, all out there.
Who's there? Who's really there?
Oh.
And can I take you in?
Ooh.
We just had a big black bear right here at Sunrise Ranch last night.
Was he black?
Really?
He was black. Yeah, black.
Yeah. I was in the studio. I was sitting right here last night working, and Connie called me and said, "Hey, there's a bear out there." So I'm like,
oh my.
And I didn't even bring my flashlight, and I've got my phone, but it's such a dim little light. And there really is a big mama bear and a couple of cubs right here where we are. Yeah.
That's exciting that they're alive.
Yeah.
So David, how's it been in the transition from being afraid of your bareness and toning it down and not bringing it to the party to saying, hey, guess what? I'm this big bear, this big loving bear, and here I am, and you get all of me, and I'm a piece of the divine.
Yeah.
Hello, life.
It's partly, and it's a real subtle place of letting go, is, and I'm still in the process of doing it. It's that, can I let go of this infantile need to be acknowledged? I mean, that's what I was born with, and it's there, and I can acknowledge it and learn to embody that necessarily, and know that as I evolve as into an adult, I can evolve into an adult embracing his infant inside.
Yeah, exactly. And looking at what is it inside in you that needs that acknowledgement.
Exactly.
Because once you own your divinity and own that bear and own David, then it doesn't matter if you're acknowledged or not acknowledged.
Yeah, the more to the point is, am I acknowledging it?
Yeah.
Okay, are you acknowledging?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and more times than not, that part happens first. That wound happens before the other one.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
One happens before the place of me holding back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So this Dance of Souls work is about relationships with others and first and foremost ourselves, because our primary relationship is with ourselves. And until we learn to love and acknowledge ourselves and to respect ourselves, that self-esteem or self-respect that is so missing in so many of us, often because of the way we were treated as kids by our parents, our teachers, our society. It's not easy to really operate at a 100% level of self-esteem.
Yeah.
Once you realize, excuse me.
This is a danger there of going over and overcompensating, and now, oh, that wonderful California term, the ego trip, right? But whenever you see somebody doing that, you know that there's an insecurity in there that's driving an overcompensation. So it's all about this balance. And it's, I think it's ridiculous to say we have a higher self and a lower self. It's really not that. That's a schizophrenic statement, But we do have this we have this ability to witness ourselves, to look inside ourselves and see how we are and who we are and how we're functioning. And the only thing that counts is to respect what we see. And if we see something that, ooh, that wasn't too good, I blew it there, change it. That's the kinds of change that we can do, these little micro adjustments throughout our lives. But if we can get that primary relationship with ourselves down, then we're worthy and we're ready for a relationship with another.
Well, and also what we have to understand is, he said something that how we were treated as children. What we have to understand is that our soul actually asks for that behavior from others, from our parents, so that we could acquire these wounds, so that we could go on this journey and bring in those mirrors to show us those parts of ourselves we came on the planet to learn to love. So we're even going to twist an experience. As a child, we're going to twist an experience in order to get that wound. So, for an example, like we're in our crib and we wake up and with our twin brother or sister, and we wake up and we cry for mom, but mom is in the bathroom. Mom doesn't come right away. Well, then mom gets there and the twin brother or sister says, "Hi, mom." And we say, "Mom doesn't love me. Mom didn't come when I cried." And we take that on as a wound of abandonment for our whole life, whereas our twin brother or sister couldn't have cared less because they didn't come for that wound. So we have to understand the beauty of this dance of souls in this process, this heroine's journey to self-love. So
that's just one piece. Yeah. I'm writing a book called The Sacred Actor, and just another way of seeing we came here to play in a theater called the universe and to play a character. And all characters have a drama. Every character has some opposition, right? And then the whole thing, whether they release it or not. And maybe we played all the roles, in this lifetime we came with the wounding, as a major story to enact in our life's drama, and to do it consciously, to catch ourselves. Maybe, oh my God, there really is a real dramatic story here. What would it be like if I really played it? And knew the design of that
and
story.
that it has a purpose.
And it absolutely
has a huge
purpose. Which is I'm all.
This journey to self-love, and to recognize it as a theater
Yeah,
keys for this life walk.
exactly.
Not get so enmeshed in it.
Right. So we can have some humor in it too.
Yeah. But that doesn't go with victim perpetrator paradigm consciousness at all. So it's about lifting up and looking and seeing it from that higher perspective. And so I think we're closing now.
I'm starting to
There's
see a few
Ken.
friends coming
Hi,
in. Hello,
Ken.
Ken.
And the men's group is coming
Ken's
on
here,
now.
yeah.
Yes.
So we'll sign off.